The evil commander Bluth has kidnapped Ace's girlfriend, the beautiful Kimberly, and is plotting to enslave the Earth using his dreaded Infanto Ray, a weapon that changes everyone it blasts into a helpless baby. Armed with only a laser gun, Ace must find and destroy the Infanto Ray, rescue Kimberly, and save the Earth. All in a day's work for a superhero. Right? Right? Guys, this is SpaceAce, developed by ODE, published by Absolute Entertainment, released in 1994, and it's of course part of the SpaceAce franchise. This is not anything to do with the manga or Ace Frehley from Kiss. You might think that, I don't know, but that's what it says. This was originally an arcade game, one of those Laserdisc games, kind of like Dragon's Lair. Thus, it's available on absolutely everything everywhere. The arcade, the Amiga, the Apple II GS, the 3DO, the CDI, the Jaguar CD, the Macintosh DOS, Atari ST, Sega CD, DVD players, Blu-ray, Wii, DSiWare, iOS, PlayStation 3, Android, Steam, the Super Nintendo, and the Switch. So, you can't find this anywhere, clearly. The game is similar in gameplay style to Dragon's Lair, requiring the player to move the joystick or press the fire button at key moments in animated sequences to govern the hero's actions. But the action was more varied, with the player occasionally given the temporary option to either have the character he's controlling transform back into an adult or remain as a boy. Don Bluth has announced during the crowdfunding for Dragon's Lair the movie that he is making a SpaceAce short film. When was that a thing? That was just a couple years ago. On December 24, 2015, Indiegogo reached its $250,000 to produce a teaser. 14 days later, they got more than twice the budget. Bluth and backstory for Dirk and Daphne, and that Daphne will show that she is not a blonde airhead. Well, there you go. I'd watch the hell out of that. Love me some Don Bluth. Anyway. Well, there are a million billion ports to this, as we discussed. We're going to talk about the one for the Super Nintendo, because that's what we're talking about. From Absolute, it has limited storage and ended up being a side-scroller with levels based on scenes from the Laserdisc. In order to see the credits, you must get an ace rank on every level, meaning that you have to have near-perfect accuracy and collect different discs throughout the game. GamePro panned it, commenting that the awkward controls you fall off edges for no reason, and pixelated graphics like the cutscenes, which are meant to be humorous or just hideous, combined for one of the most unplayable video games in recent memory. They recommend that fans of the arcade game hold out for the Sega CD version instead. Now, I don't love these kind of games, and I really didn't love this one, mostly just because I couldn't figure out what the hell I was supposed to be doing. It's really a trial and error game, which I guess holds true to the original arcade games like this, where you just had to get it wrong so many times till you got it right, and then it just kind of becomes rote memory from there. 44 people voted on this on GameFAQs and gave it a 1.4 out of 5. It's the 5th lowest rated Super Nintendo action game and the 15th lowest overall. The 7th hardest action game for the Super Nintendo, and the 19th on the Super Nintendo overall. I think it looks fine. I mean, trying to do what they did, putting a Laserdisc game on a Super Nintendo cartridge, wasn't going to work anyway. But I think it was a good effort. But yeah, it's just not fun. We talked about this with the Super Star Wars games. You can have all the right things, but if you don't do the right things with them, well, this is one of those.